Dawn breaks over the Arabian Sea, but tension overshadows the beauty. On the Volga Spirit, Captain Orlov spots two U.S. Navy destroyers emerging from the mist, closing in fast. The radio crackles, a standard query, but the crew knows this is no ordinary morning. The tanker, loaded with crude oil, is under international scrutiny. Now, it faces direct confrontation. Every move is critical. A single misstep could spark a global incident. On the USS McFall, the crew prepares for a boarding operation, aware of the Russian flag and the stakes. The destroyers maneuver into position, requesting the Volga Spirit to alter course and prepare for inspection. Captain Orlov responds cautiously, consulting with his superiors. Minutes drag by in silence as the world seems to hold its breath. 3 ships, 2 nuclear powers, and a volatile cargo. One wrong move could change everything. The U.S. Navy waits for compliance, protocols guiding every action. The Russian crew braces for the unknown, caught between duty and danger. The destroyer's presence is a show of force, but restraint is paramount. The radio remains the only link, words chosen carefully, every phrase weighed. The standoff is tense, but discipline prevails on both sides. No one wants to be the spark that ignites a crisis. The fate of the encounter rests on professionalism, not firepower. The sun climbs higher, illuminating a fragile peace. The world watches, but only the crews know how close they are to disaster. The moment passes. No shots, no boarding, just a silent standoff. The ships drift apart, tension lingering in the salty air. For now, the crisis is averted, but the danger remains. The Arabian Sea is a chessboard of global power. US-led sanctions target Russia's energy exports, forcing Russian tankers into risky maneuvers and shadowy routes. The Volga Spirit is part of this shadow fleet, dodging scrutiny to deliver oil. US Navy patrols these vital sea lanes, enforcing sanctions and ensuring freedom of navigation. Every encounter is a test. Law enforcement for the Americans, sovereignty for the Russians. Most interactions are routine, resolved with electronic paperwork and radio calls. But the threat of escalation is always present. Crews operate under immense pressure, knowing each move is watched by governments and rivals. The Volga Spirit's journey is monitored long before it meets a US destroyer. For Washington, it's about upholding sanctions. For Moscow, it's about defending trade rights. The ocean is more than water. It's a stage for geopolitical rivalry. Every ship, every maneuver, is a calculated risk. The line between routine and crisis is razor thin. One misunderstanding could turn a patrol into a flashpoint. In these waters, suspicion is as constant as the tide. The crisis didn't start with gunfire. It started online. An obscure blog falsely claims the US Navy seized the Volga Spirit. Social media amplifies the story, adding dramatic, fabricated details. Within hours, headlines scream of military confrontation and missile threats. None of it is true, but the world believes the worst. Misinformation spreads faster than facts, fueling panic and outrage. Major news outlets struggle to keep up, their caution drowned out by viral rumors. The global audience, primed by years of tension, is quick to assume the worst. The standoff becomes a symbol of inevitable conflict between superpowers. Fear and speculation fill the void left by slow official responses. The original blog post, reckless or malicious, scripts a global drama. People react to rumors, not reality. The narrative of war takes hold, even as the real incident remains contained. In the digital age, perception becomes reality in minutes. A minor naval encounter is transformed into a global crisis without a single shot fired. Official reports reveal a far less dramatic reality. The US destroyers approached, hailed the Volga Spirit, and requested information. Standard procedure. The Russian captain delayed, consulting with authorities, while the US ships waited at a safe distance. No boarding occurred, no weapons were drawn, and no threats were made. The entire exchange was conducted over radio, tense but professional. The infamous missile threat? Pure fiction. Russian warships were nowhere nearby. Moscow's official statement was stern but diplomatic, not a declaration of war. The standoff ended with communication, not confrontation. US and Russian officials de-escalated the situation through established channels. The Volga Spirit was allowed to proceed, the US Navy logging the encounter. The real story, a routine sanctions check, delayed by protocol, resolved by restraint. The crisis existed mostly online, fueled by rumor and fear. The ships parted ways, the world none the wiser to how close things came. The lesson reality is often quieter and safer than the headlines suggest. In the end, professionalism on both sides kept the peace. For Captain Orloff and his crew, the standoff was a test of nerves. Civilian mariners, not soldiers, suddenly found themselves at the center of global tension. Their tanker, loaded with oil, was vulnerable and isolated. Emergency drills and anxious glances became routine as warships loomed nearby. On the US side, sailors faced a different pressure, the burden of restraint. Every decision was weighed against the risk of escalation. Young sailors on both sides, separated by water and politics, shared the same anxiety. The peaceful outcome was a testament to their discipline and humanity. Behind the headlines, real people made the difference. In the end, professionalism, not politics, kept disaster at bay. A diplomatic protest became a missile threat, thanks to the internet. Russia's official statement was stern but vague, warning of unpredictable consequences. Online, this phrase was twisted into rumors of imminent military action. Social media accounts exaggerated, speculated, and invented details. Each retelling made the story more alarming, stripping away nuance. Echo chambers reinforced the narrative, turning fiction into fact. Mainstream media, trying to report the reaction, sometimes blurred the line further. The original message was lost, only the threat remained in public memory. A peaceful protest became a crisis in the digital imagination. The real danger, how quickly rumors can outpace reality. In this new information battlefield, perception is as powerful as any weapon. The world nearly believed a war that never happened. The standoff ended quietly, resolved by direct communication, not confrontation. US and Russian commanders used deconfliction hotlines to clarify intentions and avoid escalation. The decision to let the Volga spirit proceed was strategic, restraint over risk. The US Navy's presence was noted, the tanker's identity confirmed. Both sides recognized the danger of pushing further for little gain. In the aftermath, protocols were reviewed and communication improved. Maritime insurers reassessed risks in high-tension zones. Incidents like this are more common than the public knows. Most are resolved quietly. The Volga Spirit incident became public only because of social media amplification. For naval professionals, it was another day managing crisis at sea. For the world, it was a near miss, a reminder of how close we can come to disaster. Quiet professionalism, not headlines, kept the peace. The Volga Spirit standoff is a warning about the power of perception. A minor incident became a global panic through misinformation and online amplification. The real danger wasn't on the water, but in the headlines and social feeds. We must be critical consumers of breaking news. Verify before sharing. Sensationalism fuels fear, not understanding. The professionalism of sailors on both sides prevented catastrophe. Deconfliction hotlines and calm judgment were the unsung heroes. The story is about what didn't happen. No shots, no seizure, no war. But next time the outcome could be different. Vigilance, on the seas and online, is essential to prevent crisis. Separate fact from fear, or risk letting fear shape reality. In a world of instant information, restraint and truth are our best defense.